Alright, it's time to do a fun video, alright? So, we're gonna just go check out a few piney places here, I've been talking a lot about, climate change and Flagstaff is a possible place, to have to live in the future due to climate change. But here is the thing, alright? This is not Flagstaff, by the way, we're looking at. This is Flagstaff. Alright, and I realized that, yeah, you can get fooled by the blue sky, but I called these the Real Pine Barrens because they may look like the Pine Barrens, but they are not the Pine Barrens. Now, these are ponderosa pine trees. They're very beautiful. I'm not saying they're not. They're very beautiful, but they don't give off. They don't have the same shapes and colors the pitch pines have. The green is more muted. These were all taken during the summertime, and these are ponderosa pines. These are pitch pines. See how much more green the pitch pines are versus the ponderosa pines? So obviously pitch pines are the best and most beautiful pine tree there is. All right? And the ponderosa pines have tried to kind of tease me a little bit, about it, but here's the thing, Flagstaff is no substitute for the Pine Barrens. It is no substitute for the Pine Barrens. And although these pines look very nice, they do not look. Do not come in. I mean, they do not come in the same great shapes that pitch pines come in. All right. And one thing you also note about Flagstaff is the pine. There's like no. It doesn't quite look like a forest. It almost looks like a plantation of trees. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't quite look like an actual forest. You can take a look at some of these pictures. So I'm gonna just go in here and we're going to have a look again, and I think this spot right here. There's another spot right here. It just, you don't see any brush, you don't see any, it just looks too neat, almost, in a way. I can't explain it, but again, these are ponderosa pines, and these are pitch pines. So, once again, ponderosa pines. Tilt it up a little bit. These are ponderosa pines. And these are pitch pines. You can see the pitch pines are much greener. They're much more lush looking. Ponderosa pines not. So the pines are not greener in Flagstaff. All right, that's the point. The pines are not greener. They're actually greener here. All right. So, and I'm going to talk a little bit about. I'm going to put on the screen right now the amount of sunny days. There aren't that many more sunny days in Flagstaff than there are in New York. What it is, and I do know we are seeing more clouds due to climate change, but that I think is all over the world. All right, but when you take a look at it, we're just in a bad pattern right now. That's the issue with not getting clear skies. A couple of years ago we had a lot of clear skies. Hopefully we can get that again. But again, this is Flagstaff, and this is the last time you're going to see me talk about Flagstaff on this channel. It is a beautiful place, a place maybe I would like to visit, but it is no substitute for the real thing. It is no substitute for the Pitch Pine Barrens. So now, let's take a look at some of these delicious shapes, and I'll tell you where they are. All right, this is actually along Route 51, right here on Long Island, south of Riverhead. A beautiful spot here. And again, these were all taken during the summer. I mean, the winter, it's just as green. Well, actually, the pines do get greener in the summer. But the pitch pines generally have a much more richer color to them than the ponderosa pines. Much more rich green, and they have the needle density is better, and they just have more. They come in more interesting shapes. The ponderosa pines have a tendency to just look a little too uniform. Whereas the pitch pines, this place looks truly wild. The Pine Barrens are just the most beautiful place on earth, and true Pine Barrens like these can only be found in the Northeast, where they're comprised of pitch pines. So again, this is a beautiful spot here in. It's almost like a little virtual hike that we're going on here. This is along Route 51 because Google doesn't go down the trails. But just take a look at these just freaking-licious shapes right here. And these are pitch pines, and these are the best pines there is. These are the most beautiful pines there is. And let me just zoom in here and show you. Let's look at the bright green needles that the pitch pines have. Ponderosa pines don't have that. They don't have that. They also don't have epicormic growth, and they also do not come in dwarf pine forms like pitch pines can come in. So again, it's just much more lush forest here than Flagstaff. despite the fact Flagstaff gets a lot of snow, you get a lot more snow than we do. That's another downside with Flagstaff. Well, they like snow, 83 inches of snow a year. That's a little too much. But anyway, just look at these great shapes here. Again, this is in Riverhead, south of Riverhead County Center along Route 51. And the good thing is you can get here by public transportation, by Suffolk County Transit or the Long Island Railroad. Whereas Flagstaff, while they have a bus system within the city, it is pretty much in city limits. So if you want to, there is no really good public transportation there. You're pretty much stuck with that, Greyhound, or there's Suffolk County Transit right there. That's probably could be the 8A or the S66. But again, in Flagstaff, the buses don't go to the woods. They just stick to the city limits. So that's another downside to Flagstaff. All right, so again, this is County Road 51 here, and you just look at this beautiful scenery we have here in the Northeast. So, yeah, the weather's gotten me down about the Northeast, but, there's no place else I'd rather live. I have to be with the pitch pines. The pitch pines are absolutely the best, most beautiful pines there are. And, of course, whatever we do here on Long Island, New Jersey does it better. And this is New Jersey. This is in Manchester Township, west of Toms River. And just look at these shapes. I'm going to take you along this road here. These shapes here are incredible. Just look at them, man. Ooh, yes. Look at these just freaking-licious shapes. These are pitch pines, again, and they're just the best. Actually, you can tell this was in September. You see a little bit of fall color. That's another thing you're not going to get in Flagstaff. They don't really have fall foliage there, so they don't have that. Like I said, it's an imitation of the Pine Barrens. But you know what? I got to learn one thing, and that is accept. We all have to learn one thing: accept no imitations. You got to stick with the real thing, and the real thing is the Pine Barrens, especially here in New Jersey. This is just delicious. I mean, if I ever do wind up having to leave Long Island, it would definitely be New Jersey, because the pines there are spectacular. And just look at these delicious shapes here. Delicious. Look at this. Just look at this. Let me get this a little show you. Just look at this, man. I mean, this is wow. This is a beautiful stretch of road right here. This is in Manchester Township. It's Beckerville Road. I mean, it's beautiful. I wish they did have street views of the trails, but they don't. And just look at these shapes. Just look at that lush. Only pitch pines have that lush, intense green that you see. The other pines don't do it. Only pitch pines. Again, just delicious. We're going to go down this whole road. Of course, you see the power lines here. JCP&L, of course. And this is just beautiful. Look at these. Just look at these amazing shapes. Just amazing shapes. Just look at that. These shapes are incredible. So, New Jersey has the most beautiful Pine Barrens, obviously, but our Pine Barrens are very nice too. But I love the pines. The pitch pines are where it's at. You've got to be in the Pine Barrens. Just look at these delicious shapes here. Oh man, this is almost like a little virtual hike we're going on. Let's do this virtual hike. Oh man, look at this. So this is classic New Jersey for you. Look at the shapes these pines come into. I mean, they really do. The shapes are just breathtaking, man. They are breathtaking. Look at this. That is incredible. I'm going to keep going down this road for a little longer here. Just look at these lush green pines. Just, man, this is just beautiful. So, when you put Flagstaff next to the Pine Barrens, Flagstaff doesn't look so great, The pitch pines are just the most beautiful. Let's look. Oh my God! Look at these just delicious shapes. And you got the sugar sand. Let's not forget you have rivers, and I mean, it's nice to live by the ocean. You can go to the beach and stuff. Imagine living in the middle of the continent, not being able to see the ocean. That would have to suck. So again, just look at these just delicious shapes here. And so we really are also very lucky here in the Northeast, especially the folks who live in New Jersey. Ocean County is such a beautiful, beautiful place. Oh my God, look at these shapes. Look at these delicious shapes here, man. Woo, yes. That is what it's all about right there. That is what it's all about. All right, so I want to show you all the different areas of the Pine Barrens in the Northeast. All right, so we're going to talk about all the different Pine Barrens. So we know New Jersey is obviously right here. And this, of course, is the New Jersey Pine Barrens. And this is, of course, the biggest and largest and the best. Number 2 would be Long Island, right here. All right, this would be number 2. All right. But we also have pitch pine barrens. And whenever I use the phrase pine barrens, from now on, it's only going to refer to pitch pine barrens. I usually only do that anyway, but I want to make that clear, that the only real pine barrens are pitch pine barrens. All right. And then number 3 would be over here in the Cape. Yes, there are pine barrens on the Cape, too. All right. And then we also have the Albany pine bush, which is a very small area right here. All right, that would be number 4. All right. And then we have the Shawgunk Ridge, which is in the Shawgunk Mountains in this area right here. And there are actually dwarf pine barrens up there, pine barrens, but most of them are dwarf pine barrens because they're up in the mountains. All right. Rhode Island also has pine barrens. That would be 6. All right. And then we also have pine barrens near, I think, Manchester, New Hampshire. That's 7. And I believe also in Kennebunk in Maine, we have pine barrens as well. So that would be 8. And then we also have pine barrens in Acadia National Park, which is, I think, somewhere over here. So that would be 9. All right. And then there are some more actually occurrences of pine barrens, very small ones up in Canada, believe it or not. Very small ones that are actually up in Quebec province. They're very small areas, but I can show those to you too. So let's now take a look and show you. So again, Jersey is the number 1 pine barrens, and number 2. Oh, and how could I almost forget? Cape Henlopen. Cape Henlopen Park, I think it's over here somewhere, State Park. There's also some pine barrens there as well. So now let's take a look at the rest of these pine barrens and just show you the beauty of the pitch pine barrens across the Northeast that I'm going to show you in the next part of this video. Alright, so we're going to start in Cape Cod here after we've, of course, New Jersey, Long Island. As far as access to public transportation, Long Island's pine barrens are the easiest, followed by New Jersey, and then Cape Cod. Cape Cod doesn't have any train service, and I think there's only very limited bus service, but there is some service around here. And you can see sort of like what it looks like here. Again, mostly pitch pines here, of course. But in Cape Cod, you do have what you call kettle hole lakes. So if you look over here, you see these lakes over here. Not necessarily a clear day here, but again, you can see here is a lake, and here's some pitch pines growing right along the lake here, and this is in Cape Cod. Cape Cod is a place I would love to visit for sure, because they have the after Long Island that's the number 3. That's the number 3 largest pine barrens that there is. You can see they have these beautiful kettle hole lakes, and of course beautiful beaches too as well. If we can take a look and maybe get some views of the beach as well. Actually, a whole bunch of them. This is Cape Cod. Look at that beauty. How could you be away from the beach? Yeah, they don't have this in Flagstaff. They don't have the ocean. This is beautiful. Look at that. And I want to show you another area here, and this is the tip of the Cape. Now, this area is very similar to Napiog. You've seen my video on Napiog. You have a lot of pitch pine dune lands in here. So you have a lot of pitch pine dune lands. You can see here, and this is really beautiful. And this, again, is something you won't find in the Flagstaff area. You don't have dune lands. You don't have any of that. This, like I said, this is just truly spectacular. Look at all these just amazing, great shapes here. Again, this is in Cape Cod. Again, you can see here just an amazing scenery here. Just show you along here the tip here. Just look at this. You see, this reminds me a lot of like Montauk, Napiog State Park. The pines are kind of stunted just because it is kind of a there's a lot of exposure to the wind and stuff over here. So, again, just a beautiful, beautiful area. And of course, let's see if we can get some views here of the beach area here and see if they have any good views here. So, all right, let's see. We got the Race Point Road here. Yeah, here we go. Unfortunately, these are older, low-resolution images, but you can see it's dune lands. It's spectacular, and they have a bike trail that goes through here. And just look at all these, just amazing shapes. So let's take a look at another area where most people think, oh, pine barrens are just along the coast, but they are not. Once you head to upstate New York, you have the Pine Barrens on the mountains, the ridgetop Pine Barrens. And we're going to try to get some pictures of these and see what these look like. And this is Minnewaska State Park over here. But we're going to start over here first, the Shawgunk Ridge. Alright, yeah, let's look at this image right here. So this is the Shawgunk Ridge over here, and these are ridgetop Pine Barrens, so at the tops of mountains. And take a look at this. This was taken in, I think, the fall. You can see, look at all these fall foliage. Look at all that intense fall foliage over there, and look at those. Oh man, just delicious shapes. And these, like I said, these tend to be more dwarfed. These are like more of a pygmy pine plane because they're up high on the mountains, as you can see here. And these are all Pine Barrens over here. That color is from the huckleberry, that red color there. This is another absolutely spectacular place and a beautiful day too. Look at that nice blue sky. This is a place I would like to visit for sure. Unfortunately, I'm not aware of any public transportation in this area. Which is unfortunate, or there isn't much. They have private bus companies, but you know they'll rip you off, you know. Here's another view. This is the top of the ridge here. Here you go, and look at how stunted these pines are. These are all pitch pines here. This is all a dwarf pine barren here at the top of the Shawgunk Ridge. This is upstate New York. Again, there are Pine Barrens upstate, and this is, oh my God, this is breathtaking. This is a place I would love to check out. Look at all these, oh my God, it's just a sea of great shapes here. Look at that. That is just incredible. Look at that. See, they grow right off the rock there. The thing is, I don't know how much rock climbing is involved. I can't really do that. But, I mean, look at these shapes and look at the view. So, again, top of the mountains, pitch pines grow in some of the most inhospitable places on this planet. So here is another spot upstate here that's not very far away in Minnewaska State Park. And you have some absolutely amazing views here, too, of some absolutely amazing pines here in this area. So let's check this out right here. I think there's a lake here. Alright, and you can see more great shapes here. Look at these great shapes. Very rocky here, and then here's the view of the lake. This is truly a kettle hole lake. Look at the look at that. That's something else. So this is again upstate. But again, you wouldn't think upstate there are pitch pine barrens, but there are pitch pine barrens upstate. And then one more area I'm going to talk about upstate, and I'll wrap it up. I'll cover just a couple more here. I'm not going to get to all of them. But the other one upstate is going to be the Albany pine bush. And Albany pine bush is another area I would like to check out. Unfortunately, again, public transportation, there isn't any. You have to get ripped off by a private Amtrak or a private bus company. It would be great if we had statewide transit like New Jersey has, but we don't. Anyway, the other area is called the Albany pine bush, and it is over here. So we can take a look. Actually, there are some views. And they call it the pine bush because it's a very small pine barrens, very small, but it's beautiful nonetheless. And let's see, I'm gonna just maybe it's just best off from the road, I think. Yeah, you can see here these are pitch pine barrens over here up in near Albany. It's actually quite beautiful though, as you can see here. So they do have pitch pine barrens up here as well. Okay, so this will be the last part of this video here. We'll talk about one more pine barrens near Manchester in New Hampshire. This is near Lake here, and there's actually some absolutely very beautiful pine barrens. And you don't think New Hampshire has a lot of white pines, but not a lot of pitch pines. White pines are just boring trees to look at. In fact, I'll show you here. There are white pines here, so I can compare what they look like to the pitch pines. And they're kind of just, yeah, this is a white pine right here. Just kind of boring to look at. They're not they don't have the colors that pitch pines have. But anyway, the colors or the shapes. Alright, so I believe we're getting closer to the spot we're looking for. And you can see right along the lake you have these absolutely beautiful classic pitch pines. Here, these very old pitch pines come in some really just amazing great shapes here. So again, beautiful lake here, and you can see these beautiful old pitch pines. Look at these just amazing great shapes here. Right here in, believe it or not, New Hampshire of all places. So all over the Northeast you can find pitch pines. But by far, like I said, the best ones are in New Jersey, and like I said, New Jersey's #1, and then Long Island would be #2. And really, for those who don't drive, Long Island's are the best for access. Forget about it. There's no transportation in any of these areas. You can forget it. Albany has good bus network within Albany, but not getting to there. So for those who don't drive, unfortunately, a lot of places are off limits, which kind of sucks. But you make the most of it, But anyway, we return to Long Island, and just show you one more beautiful spot on Long Island. It's not necessarily in a park, but a beautiful spot nonetheless, and a great community to live in. If you obviously not a good place to live without a car, but you can actually get some pretty reasonable houses in and around Lake Panamoka. It's a very nice area. Obviously, it's in the middle of nowhere, but it is. If you don't have to be rich to live here and enjoy the scenery. So I'll just show you some of the scenery here. And this is the lake that's they have here. So if you do live here, you can use this beach. You have to live here to be able to get in here. But again, it's a beautiful beach with these beautiful pitch pines. Check out here some beautiful old pitch pines. And that will wrap up this video. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I want to thank you for watching, and remember what it's all about. Yeah, it's all about those great shapes, and I'm talking about the great shapes of the pitch pine. Take it easy.